Welcome to Memento Argentum, where remembering the silver screen is a requirement, not a request. And I am your host, E.E. Lynn, and I have completely messed up. I ended up getting a little bit sick, and it pushed it back, my first review, and now I am scrambling to make up for it. Instead of doing my normal reviews, I have to interject with something a little bit different. It's called WKRP in Cincinnati. Let's see if I can get, there we go. And, lovely show, very lovely show. It was in the 70s. It's about a radio station. And the particular episode I am dealing with is in reference to Thanksgiving. Because, unfortunately, because of my sickness, it pushed past Thanksgiving. And I felt like it was appropriate to do a review of the episode called Turkeys Away. So I'm going to do that review instead. The premise basically is that the boss of the radio station is feeling a little left out. He feels that the station is running a little too smoothly without him. He doesn't feel like he really belongs, so he decides to take matters into his own hands and concocts a plan to do something special for Thanksgiving. Things don't go completely as planned, and anyone who is even remotely aware of Thanksgiving traditions, especially from earlier time periods, I'm sure will be aware of this episode because it is so famous for a very particular line, which I'm not going to spoil, because if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. I will probably do a more thorough review of this series later, but I had to get this out. It's a very impromptu little review. Most of my other ones will be more in depth, but because this was basically just for the one episode for Thanksgiving, belated happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had plenty of turkey, plenty of food. They were able to hang out with their family members that they're still talking to or are not talking to, and maybe they hang out with their friends instead. I'm hoping everyone had a lovely holiday. For anyone who decides to watch this who isn't from the States, I hope you had a pleasant Thursday. But yeah, so hopefully someone will give this a watch because it is a really enjoyable show. The radio show is full of crazy characters. I mean, one of the actors is known by many horror buffs as Mike from the miniseries It from the 90s. And that one, he's a bit younger in this show, and he plays a DJ by the name of Venus Flytrap. He is quite the character. I actually would love to go down the cast of characters, but frankly, this was just an impromptu review. So, Turkeys Away is season 1, episode 7, including the 2-part pilot. And yeah, I hope somebody checks it out because it is, you're either going to laugh or you're going to let out a moan of pity. Because that is all that can be said for the end result, is you will either find it very funny or you will sort of pity the poor fools who got involved. It's very in line with shows of the era, so if you're interested in checking it out, go ahead and check it out. I really suggest it. WKRP in Cincinnati. It is season 1, episode 7, I believe. Yeah, episode 7, including the 2-part pilot. If you don't include the 2-part pilot, it's episode 6. I'm gonna put the description as episode 7 though, because the 2-part pilot is separated. I'm gonna end this review by saying what I'm gonna try to do from now on with my reviews, which is, well, now that I'm going to put them up. If you have any recommendations, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. I already have one request, which I will be fulfilling once I'm finished with the other 3 that I had already planned on doing. This, again, was a very impromptu thing. If you make a request, I will try and fulfill it, or at least acknowledge that the request was made. And if I can't fulfill it, then I will let you know. Until next time, adieu.